All right, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton joins us now. Sir, it's good to see you again. It was a heck of a day for you. I want to start right there. The president called you this morning, I understand. Talk about that and what this means.
Look, it's a great day. When the president endorses you, it's the gold standard for endorsements. It's the most amazing endorsement of my lifetime. Yeah. And it always makes a difference because people have such tremendous respect, particularly in the Republican Party, for what he's accomplished as president and the kind of person he is. So his endorsement, there's nothing like it that I've ever seen in my lifetime. No other endorsement of any other politician seems to matter more than his.
Yeah, and you guys had a phone call this morning, and that's how you kind of got clued in that it might happen. It took that long for you to know.
Yeah, I found out this morning. He said, well, he didn't even say it was an endorsement. He said, I think you're going to like what I'm going to do. And then he talked about endorsements in general, and then we talked about how long we had left in the race, and a couple hours later, the endorsement was out. It was pretty awesome.
Because, I mean, it's a huge deal, right? I mean, this is not something that you ever see happen where the president endorses the challenger to a sitting senator. It hasn't happened in a very long time in this country. It's a big deal. It's a big moment for you.
It's a huge moment. I mean, we're in the middle of a very contested race where the challenger has access to D.C. money and unlimited fundraising limits, and probably going to end up spending $150 million. So it does help when you're trying to go against the establishment, the Washington machine, the Washington money.
Yes.
It really does help to have the president's endorsement when you're trying to get the truth out. And he's part of getting the truth out. He's a big part of getting the truth out, and people respect it, and I think it's going to make a huge difference in my race.
I suspect it'll make all the difference. We're going to see what wins, $150 million or Trump's endorsement and your hard work, and also just your popularity in the state and your ability to get things done, which I just went into. You're an effective Republican, and you're more effective than the guy you're up against. The rhinos think you're going to lose to James Talarico, though, in November. They think, oh, if you win this primary, it's over for Republicans in Texas. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, that's a great talking point when you have nothing else to run on, but that's all it is a talking point. We've held the Republican state with no statewide officials being Democrats since 1994. I've run 3 statewide races successfully, with a whole lot less money. And this guy, James Talarico, holds views that maybe work in California or Massachusetts, but they're not going to work in Texas. And once people hear that he thinks God's non-binary and some of the other issues that he's promoted, I don't think Texans are going to go for it. So I love that John Cornyn wants to run me into the ground before we get to the general election.
Right.
But the reality is it's a talking point only. It's not backed up by any polling, because the polling suggests that I either do as well or better than John Cornyn against James Talarico.
Yeah, well, we got 1 week, so this came at a great moment, just 1 week to go. So near the finish line here, Cornyn said that, or Cornyn, as we know, abandoned the president in 2023. Said it's time to move on from Donald Trump. I think that's a big part of the equation here. Why else do you think he lost this endorsement? Why are you the better man for the job?
Look, I think it's just history. I mean, John Cornyn was opposed to the president in 2016, said he was an albatross around our necks. Of course, you cited the 2024 race where he suggested that Trump was guilty of crimes and that his day had passed. And I think it's also just siding with Joe Biden on restricting Second Amendment rights. It's siding with Joe Biden. John Cornyn sided with Joe Biden on bringing Afghan refugees here without vetting them. He opposed the border wall and has said it numerous times. He's been for amnesty. He's pushed forward with spending since he's been there. The budget deficit's gone from $6.2 trillion to over $38 trillion. So he's not been part of the solution. He's been in opposition to the solution. And I think Donald Trump knows that. Yeah. He's smart. Yeah. And the people of Texas, especially the Republican Party, we've got it figured out.
The president wrote, it might be the longest Truth Social we've ever seen, and it was about you today. And he's had some doozies, by the way. He wrote, Ken is a strong supporter of terminating the filibuster and, very importantly, the Save America Act, which polls something which polls at 87% in this country, including Democrats, and yet can't seem to get approved. Perhaps Ken can help move these important elements of government forward. That's been a big frustration with John Thune. I think that also came into play here. Do you think the president might have withheld this endorsement for a while to try and force Thune to do some things he wanted to do?
Yeah, look, I don't blame him. The Save America Act is more important than my. It's the most important act that I've seen in decades, because if we can't protect our elections in democratic states because they have non-citizens voting, because their mail-in ballot fraud is massive, because they don't have photo ID, we're going to lose the country. And if we lose a few more states, we're never going to control this country with actual real elections. So I don't blame the president for using that as a piece to try to get the Save America Act passed. It is so important. It's more important than me. It's more important than even my race. It's the most important issue we have in America right now.
Yeah. The president, real quick before I let you go, assuming things go your way on Tuesday, you'll be up against James Talarico in November if that happens. The very strange guy, kind of a woke religious guy, which is very bizarre in Texas, I would imagine. The president talked about him recently. Take a listen.
The Democrats have a weird candidate. 6 genders, a real hit on Jesus. I mean, this guy is bad news.
I know there's a lot of Democrats in Texas, but are they this brand of I mean, are they, like you said, that's very bizarre coastal Washington State, California kind of politics this guy's spewing. How does that work in Texas?
Yeah, the president is not wrong. Once we highlight his views, I mean, they asked him the other day, you know, what does he think about in his spare time? And he said, I think about transgender children. I thought, what a strange answer. I think highlighting that for the voters, even Democrats, I think many reasonable Democrats are going to have trouble viewing him as the guy that should lead the U.S. Senate from Texas. I just don't see it happening in Texas once people understand that he is not what they think he is.
Yeah. He's a strange bird. I agree with that. Ken Paxton, good to see you, sir. Congratulations today.
Good to see you, too. It's a great day.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.